This is the plaintiff, Eva Sapak. She says the defendant had some work done on his house, and his workers dumped sand and concrete against her fence, damaging it. What his workers did was very rude and not very neighborly, so she has no other choice but to sue for the $2,000 worth of damage. This is the defendant, Kenneth Meyerowitz. He says this lawsuit might be a joke or something. His next-door neighbor has had a pile of dirt and debris next to her fence for years and figures she can blame him for it now to make a buck. His guys did no dumping of anything on or near her property, and he has the pictures to prove it. He's accused of dumping on a neighbor.
Eva Sapak?
Yes.
You are suing Kenneth
Meyerowitz
for $2,000, an estimate that you say it's going to take to remove concrete and sand and replace a portion of fence that you say was negligently dropped at this particular site affecting your fence at your property line. Tell me what's going on.
This all happened the week before Memorial Day weekend. It was a Monday morning. I was at my mom's house because I live in Westchester. I was visiting her. I was outside smoking a cigarette in the backyard, and I noticed that the defendant's backyard, they were jackhammering, putting new concrete.
Who owns the house?
Me and my mother.
Okay.
And I noticed that they were jackhammering.
And the defendant's house is directly behind this house?
It's the backyard. The backyard.
So it's directly behind, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
And I noticed they were jackhammering, and all of a sudden, I saw one of the workers come in between the fence and look down. I got up and I was like, don't you even go there, because I knew what they were thinking. He said, speak to the owner. Speak to the owner. I was like, please, do not put anything in there. Speak to the owner. I did not tell my mother.
Oh, and they're where?
In between the fence.
Because there's your fence, and then there's his fence, and then there's a gap in between?
There's a gap. I have pictures, I don't know.
Yeah, let me see the pictures.
Sure.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
How much, oh, just a second. How much space is in between the two fences?
We have more space than he does.
How can you, I don't get it. What do you mean you have, okay, I'm not understanding. Come over to the sketch here and explain something to me. Okay, there's your house, there's his house.
This is my fence.
Oh, I see. You mean from where the property line is?
Right.
Okay, but how much space with your property and his property in between the two fences? I'm talking about 6 inches or 4 feet? What am I talking about?
Oh, I would say like 12 inches.
Well, that's not 12 inches. Someone has been
12
lying in the wrong direction.
Sorry.
Okay?
I'm just a little 12 inches.
12 inches is a yard, is a ruler.
Correct.
Okay, so that's how much space is between the two fences. Okay, so go ahead, you can go back.
So I saw the worker look in between the fence, and I said, don't even go there. And then he says, talk to the owner. And that was the end of that.
So he says talk to the owner, and do you?
No, I did not.
Okay, and then what happened?
So throughout
weren't you worried? I would walk right over to the owner right now and
I never saw what the owner looked like.
I know, but he'll be the guy answering the door to the house.
That's correct.
Right, okay.
So throughout the course of the day, I was looking through the window to make sure everything was okay. Everything was fine.
Which is a lot more stressful than knocking on the door, but go ahead.
So the next day, I come outside, the man goes, excuse me, and he does this to me. He gestured this. So I was like, thank you, meaning that's what I assumed, that he's not going to do anything.
Right.
So I said, thank you. Then I told my mother that day what was going on.
Because you hadn't told her before that?
No, because my mom's 78. She's not feeling well. She's ill, and I don't want to give her stress.
Okay.
If I could avoid it, then I would.
Right.
So then he gives me his thumbs up, and I was like, thank you, and that was it. Wednesday comes, my mom's gardening in the afternoon. All of a sudden, it's an eye catcher. Her fence is bulged out. There's concrete bulged out in between the chain link fence. So my mother goes up and looks, big concrete pieces, sand throughout the fence.
Could you tell how tall the layer was of whatever it is you're describing?
I have pictures.
Yeah, but it's really hard to tell from the pictures how tall it is. I don't have see-through vision, so it's hard. But you were there before and you were there after.
Concrete, big pieces.
So chunks that are like, we're talking about like 6 to 8 inches.
Correct. And
Of debris.
sand. And
All the way across?
all the way across.
Okay.
And sand all the way across.
Okay.
So,
What kind of construction were you doing back there, having done?
I was having a whole house done up. I had 2 roofs done. I had the backyard concreted. I stopped about 3 feet before my property line where my fence is, so as not to collapse anything. The contractor had a 40-yard dumpster in the front yard, and I was there when they did the construction work.
Okay, and she sounds like she was, if she's to be believed, that she was looking at it, watching it, and noted when it changed and there was debris there.
Well, this is the first time-
What say you about the debris that was there then? How did
debris.
that stuff get there?
I have pictures of my neighbor's yard to the right of me. There are weeds growing about 8, 9 feet high. About 20 years ago, the Swerdlovs lived there. They did their backyard. They dumped it all in the backyard. There's a
Why
pile
would
of...
anybody do that?
There's a pile
How
of
could
dirt
that be
under
in
there.
anybody's interest to do that?
Well, no, he did it. The family did it. They had a contractor. The contractor was supposed to pick it up, but the couple died.
Okay.
So there's a pile back there, and in between our yards, it's about 2 feet. Her yard is about 8 feet lower than mine. That's been leaching down for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but it's
going through
concrete
there.
chunks that she's showing me. So a concrete
Now-
chunk doesn't leach
Okay.
for 20 years.
She's talking about my backyard was all dirt. That stuff is
When was the
nothing
first
now.
time you heard her complain, hey, your contractors did X?
After everything was done.
And how long after everything was done?
I don't know, maybe a week.
And what did she say to you?
Oh, I let the contractor talk to her and explain to her that
I
he
thought the
didn't do it.
contractor was done. How did the contractor,
Well, I had him come back and talk to her.
just
tell
to
him-
talk to her?
To tell him that it wasn't him that did it.
Were you standing there when she talked to the contractor?
Yeah.
All right, what was the discussion that they had?
So is the property owner responsible for the contractor's screw-up?
No, I can't say that it would be. No way.
But it is the property owner who hired the guy.
It's the contractor's fault. He has to pay for it.
I get that. It's the contractor's fault, but the property owner is the guy that chose that guy.
I still think it's a contractor who should be paying for that.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
The discussion was that he didn't throw anything down there.
Okay. Tell me about the conversation with the contractor eventually.
first I had a conversation with him on Wednesday, the same day when I noticed the fence was bulging out. I saw him in the afternoon. He was inspecting the work that was being done. And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I didn't know his name. He's like, "Yes." I go, "Look what your contractors did. Look at all this big concrete in between my fence and all this sand." So he leans over and he goes, "I don't understand why there would be sand there." And I was like, "I don't know, but look at all these big chunks of concrete." I go, "Did you pay them yet?" He said, "No." I go, "Please do not pay them. They need to remove this. My mother's fence is bulging out." He goes, "I will talk to them." That evening, I spoke to my husband, and my husband goes, "Eva, when you mix concrete, you mix it with sand."
Right.
He said to me, "I don't understand why there would be sand there." So then Thursday, he's telling my mother, "You need to speak to the contractor." The contractor's telling my mother, "You need to speak to the owner." So they both ignored my mother. She's an old lady. They played her for a fool. So
Why is it $2,000 to remove? Okay. I mean, it's an old chain link fence that you have, there. What?
It is an old
Right.
chain link. They have to remove 21 feet of it. There's a lot of heavy concrete. They're gonna have to wheel that through my mom's house because there's 3 houses attached. My mom's in the middle. All right, they have to wheel it in through my mom's basement, upstairs through the garage.
It never ceases to amaze me.
My mother goes, "Easy life." That's what my mother said. Easy life, easy
What's
life.
that mean?
Meaning, just dump it in the neighbor's yard. Easy life,
Oh.
She's Polish, She said,
easy life. Like, in other words, it's less trouble for them,
Exactly.
and that no one cares
Exactly.
about how it's going to end up.
Exactly. So,
Let me hear from you. Is there anything else you want to say?
We had
Where's
a 40.
your contractor? Why isn't your contractor here?
I didn't think there was a need.
You
for it.
didn't think that in
I
a
have-
case where you're being sued over the conduct of your contractor, that it would be good to have the contractor
Well, I
present?
have his bill of sale. with-
That doesn't tell me
with-
anything.
with-
Do you have a statement from him? Nothing?
That stuff's been back there for so long, it's ridiculous.
Do you understand that that is your word? That
Yes,
stuff's
I
been back there?
understand.
Her word is completely different.
Right.
Okay? I've got her pitching a fit on a certain day, which doesn't sound like the kind of person who saw this happening for 20 years. Okay? I come from a contractor family. So I mean it with nothing but the utmost of respect and love when I say that I am sick and tired of watching contractors and subcontractors who take an easy way out because they're too lazy to take a wheelbarrow and carry it to the front and put it in lift it up and put it in a dumpster. Okay, so if you're trying to convince me that nobody would cut a corner, I am not going to believe that, because I know my relatives don't cut corners, but I know, because I've been through construction a million times, that someone would rather use a 30-cent screw that's going to rust than use a 69-cent screw that is not. Okay, and then we have a problem. Okay, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So when you tell me we didn't cut a corner, my people did not cut a corner, please to explain to me what planet you're living on that you would not think I'd like to hear from your people. You're telling me your entire defense is, no, we didn't, and you don't think that it would be important, and you're local, okay, you're in Brooklyn, you don't think that it would be important to bring me the contractor, or at a very minimum, an affidavit from your contractor saying they didn't do it? Okay, well, you're going to have a lot of conversation with your contractor now, because I'm about to enter a judgment against you for the amount that she's asking for. $2,000, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, you think you should have brought the contractor with you?
I should have. I had never been to a court case before, so I really didn't think...
Why did you tell her from the get-go? First conversation, oh, that pile of stuff, that's been there for a long, long, long time.
I didn't even think about it, because it's been leaching there so long, and the disparity in the fences, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, but she's pointing out a pile of stuff and saying, you got to move this, and you could have said, oh, no, that's been there for... Why didn't you say that?
I didn't even think about it. The stoop wasn't made of that.
All right, around the corner, your documents are waiting for you there. Let's see. Thank you, Your Honor. You happy the way Your Honor took care of business for you here?
It's sad that it had come to this. You know, I gave him a couple of opportunities to do something about it. You know,
I think there was a chance he tried to ignore you two because you're women and your mom's elderly.
And my mom's
elderly.
So?
You really think so?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And is there a chance that pile of stuff was there and you didn't notice it?
No, my mom is so immaculate. You have to see her yard. My mom, come on, no, that was never there. And sand, fresh sand.
Okay, Harvey.
Okay, you know, if somebody damages your property, you should immediately take action. Send that person an email, take photos, document the damage at the time it happened, and then if they don't respond, that could actually help your case. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.